Welcome to this online class. This class topic is the 7 steps involved in solving a problem is. By the way, I am Dr. Jnr Prasad, working as a faculty in the Department of MCA, CBIT, Hyderabad. The various steps involved in resolving a problem are: first, we need to define and identify the problem. Once it is completed, we need to analyze the problem as much as possible so that we get a clear idea about the problem is. After that, you have to identify the various possible solutions, and among these possible solutions, we need to select the best solution as the fourth step in these 7 steps. And whichever you have selected the best solution, we have to evaluate it. The selection happened is in a perfect manner or not. Once evaluation is completed, it's better to you develop an action plan to start the implementation. As a part of the action plan, we have to implement the solution. What you have is these are the 7 steps involved. Whenever you are unable to identify the solution, best solution, it's better to go for in a recursive manner. Means go to the first again, start resolving, start looking the problem, and find the best solution. So these steps are in the loop. Always you should see that all the 7 steps are in the cycle, and whenever until you get a perfect solutions, you have to repeat these 7 steps only. Let's see the in-depth of each and every step involved in the problem solving is. The first and foremost, what you have is define and identify the problem is. So in this step, first of all is we need to clearly understand issues that needs to be solved by analyzing its root cause, scope, and impact. It involves distinguishing between the symptoms as well as and the actual problem to find an effective solution is. What you have is first of all is in this regard, you need to observe the situation. What you have is what is the relevant information, analyze the context required to understand the situation. First, you need to understand the situation first. And after that, ask yourself the various questions related to the existing problem is. For example, what is happening, why this problem is occurred, and who is going to be affected is. Who are the affecting people of this problem? You need to write a statement on the paper about this problem is. And also you have to identify the what is the cause behind of that, what is the cause behind of that, and what are the surface level effects about this particular problem is. Once the problem is bigger one, you have to identify the what are the various consequences are happening because this problem is. Then you have to set a clear problem statement. So this one is frame the problem concisely, such as that. So why it is a problem has occurred, that should write the statement is. For example, the website is taking too much of time to load, affecting user experiences and engagement. So that also is one of the problem is. So for that problem is, we will continue this solution for this particular problem is the website is taking the too much of time to load, affecting user experiences and engagement. That also we'll see that one. Another example I tell you that is high energy consumption in a building. In a particular building, the consumption of the power is very high. So what is we need to resolve is called, we need to see that is called, we need to set a goal for solving the problem is. What do you have is set a goal for solving the problem is. What is the meaning of that is called? The goal of this particular problem is reduce energy consumption by 20% within a 6 months through energy efficient practices. So what do you have energy efficient practices are? Use the current whenever it is required. Whenever it is required, that time only switch on the electrical appliances. For example, tube light, what are the fan. So these should be used whenever it is required. Suppose in the daytime you are switching on your the tube light, so which is not required. So unless it is compulsory required, that time only you should switch on that. That is nothing but a call. This is the we need to reduce the consumption in a building. So it is one of the goal what you have is called use the energy efficient practices in a systematic manner, then it is possible is. Another example which I said in the presentation is computer will put up but immediately turn itself off. So computer we are unable to put the system and we need to see this is called this is the one problem and that problem should be resolved. So this is when it's solved, the computer can be a reusable one. The second step is analyze the problem is. So what you have is you need to ask the questions. How long has the problem been going on? What are the causes of the problem? What are the effects and symptoms of the problem? And are there multiple steps to solve this particular problem is? So first of all, is you need to understand the problem. Analyzations, as you have seen that in the previous step, we have defined, identify the problem is. Identified the problem is at the same time, we need to understand the problem is as a part of analyzation is gather facts and data related to the problem, identify who is affected and how, determine when and where the problem occurs is. What are the root causes is use the techniques like five ways method. Why that repeatedly define the root cause. The fishbone diagram to map potential causes in categories like people, process, and technology. Evaluate the impact, check for constraints, explore potential solutions. So, what you have checked for constraints is identify any limitations are there. Resources, time, budget, technical constraints are external factors that influencing the problem is. So, in analysis is we need to see the in-depth of the problem is so that it is possible we can find the solutions are. What are the causes behind of that? What is the root causes behind of that? And also for this one, but to prepare a fishbone diagram, the potential causes in categories like people, process, and technologies. The next step is identify the possible solutions. Identify the possible solutions are. So in this technique, what you have is called, you should go for the brainstorm technique is. So ideas. So we need to discuss with your friends, with your family, based on the type of the problem is. Then it is possible we can find the solutions are. So those working to solve the problem should come up with as many solutions as possible. We need to see that there are many solutions are exist, and that solutions you need to solve one by one. Often person ideas may spur the ideas of others. So once your idea is there, you say that idea, or if you're sharing your idea, other person may get the better idea is possible. That's why share your ideas. If you want to resolve the issues, then it's better to share the problem as well as share your solutions to your friends. All ideas should be written down to evaluate later. What are the ideas are there? It's better to write the only ideas on the paper so that it is possible we can evaluate later on. Once you have selected this one, then you can better go for the best solution because all ideas have been written on the paper, then better to take the best solution. In this step, use the brainstorm list of possible solutions, which is said in the previous one. Discuss each of the possible solution and why they may or may not work. What we have is called each solutions it works or not, we have to discuss and then it's possible we can choose the best solution, which is a very much feasible for us. Now start working evaluating. So make T chart with the pros and solution on one side and the cons on the other side. A T chart, you have selected it. This T chart in the left side is pros, right side is cons. So pros and cons of the solution you should write down on the paper so that it's possible we can evaluating each and every solutions are. Ask these questions or making this T chart. Ask the questions. What are the advantages of each solution? What are the features of each and every solutions? And also what are the limitations are exist these solutions are. To disadvantage overweigh advantages, disadvantages are more than advantages, disadvantages are very dangerous or not, that also you should see that. So which solution actually solve the problem, that you need to come with that one. After doing all these things, you need better to start action plan. Make a step by step plan which should include tasks what is to be done, estimate time to complete each task, who will do each task is. So in these steps are an action plan is what are the you have identified solutions to solve to get the solutions to implement the solutions we have to prepare action plan. This action plan is what to be done and what is the how much time for each and every task and who is going to do in your task is that should better to write on the paper is when this plan is completed post it where it will be seen everyone. So once you have completed this entire thing is post it in a group in your private group so that everybody can see and can give the opinions about this one is. And the last step what you have is called implement the solution. The diagram is so all these things we have seen the action plan. Action plan each and everybody have done it and they are combining now. Follow the steps in action plan is if things start to get complicated, make a three-column chart. What could be wrong? How can you prevent this from happening? How will you fix it if something go wrong? So that's the thing is called. So what are the steps you said? Better to follow the action plan. If things start get complicated, if you are unable to do that one, make a three-column chart. What could go wrong? Why this is particular happened is how can you prevent this from happening? How do you resolve the issue is called, and how will you fix it? So last one is evaluate the results. Is the problem solved or not? You have to evaluate it. So this is the solutions we have in the 7 steps we have to follow in the problem solving is. Most of the times we people do some mistakes in problem solving is. So once a problem is not well defined or the denial that the problem exists, okay, then also the solution fails. Goals are not clearly defined also fails. Emotions, opinions, feelings, and self-interest interfere with the objective thinking. We have called opinion, one's self-opinions and emotions are there, feelings are there, and self-interest also disturbs the objective thinking is. Individuals are groups jump to unwanted or unwarranted conclusions. So whatever is there, individual person or other persons going to the conclusion very faster than the existing one. Are afraid of to make mistakes are. Sometimes what you have is called mistakes teaches us many lessons. So once you have this is called, it's better to hear now call. Sometimes we need to take such a risk where we may get a solution, we may get a success or may get a failure. But once the success comes, everybody, it's possible for everybody appreciates you. Same time, when mistakes happen, it's possible for us should not repeat the same type of mistakes are possible to learn it certain mistake. So mistakes, individuals or groups are if you are afraid of mistakes also, that is also becomes a one mistake in the problem solving is. So that's all this topic is. So thank you very much. We'll see you next lesson about the new topic. Thank you very much.